Hey there, welcome to Ask Me Monday, number 37. I'm Vickie Howell, and we're going to be doing something kind of special today. For those of you that watch every week, you know that now we're working with Makers Mercantile to bring you some more interesting crafts, like in addition to knitting, crochet, the usual stuff that I do. We're going to kind of broaden our crafty spectrum, and we're usually going to do it the first Monday of every month, but the first Monday of July happens to be a holiday here in the US, and I'm going to hang out with my family. I'm going to assume that you're going to hang out with your family. My dog is also here. Much of my family is here right now. So we decided we'd give you a 2 for, with my oldest son going to dog rally. We're going to give you a 2 for this time, and we're going to bring you one from Makers Mercantile today too. So I don't know if you've been flipping through catalogs like I have, but Shibori dyeing is everywhere. You've probably seen it. It's the beautiful indigo, blue, different shapes. It can have kind of a tie-dye effect, or you can see this really cool grid pattern. Really, Shibori just is a Japanese word for manipulating fabric. It's what you do with the fabric before you dye it. And then we're going to be using an indigo dye. And for me, the summertime is the time to experiment. It's a little bit slower in the craft world, so it's a great time to learn new skills. I'm signed up for a photography class. I'm going to look into learning how to watercolor paint. There's a lot of things that I want to do, but sometimes what I like to do is just grab a kit where everything is included and just see where it takes me, so I can kind of do my own mini class just in my own home. So, oh, and great, and Rhonda's here. Rhonda is actually the expert dyer. I am not. I am going to be trying this with you all today. She's going to answer any questions that I can, so if you can see Rhonda Fargnolo, she just came up on there. She'll answer anything that I cannot. She runs the education program at Makers Mercantile. So we're going to talk about, first of all, let me show you a couple of things that Rhonda dyed. These are silk. Look how beautiful this is. These are just silk blanks. And this is using just a basic sugar vat dye, and it is all natural. So you don't have to worry about all the chemicals of other dyes. So this is really great for, like, obviously this is on trend, and so we all kind of are into it now. But also it's a great way to recycle stuff. If you've got, you know, maybe a t-shirt you spilled something on and you have a stain, or like for me, I look terrible in white. So anytime I get a white t-shirt, I'm always looking for something to do with it. Or if you want to come up with a unique gift for someone, you can buy just a plain blank of, you know, a plain shirt like this, or a tote bag or whatever, and you can kind of give it your own natural flair. But since I know the majority of you who watch this stream are knitters and crocheters, you're probably interested in the yarn aspect. And yarn is something also I'm going to be playing with today. So I'm not going to actually be dyeing for you today because it's kind of a longer process and this is a short stream, but I'm going to show you a couple things. I'm going to show you 1 or 2 techniques for folding fabric, manipulating fabric, and then in a bit I'm going to be bringing in my daughter Clover, who wanted to be a helper. Not yet. Well, you can say hi if you want, but and she's going to help me. She's going to help me mix. I also have my eldest son Tanner, who's going to come in and help with the camera, because as you've noticed, I'm in my kitchen today, not my studio as I normally am, and because we're going to be doing more stuff, the phone format can be a little bit hindering. So we're going to try and make it work live. Who knows how it's going to go, but you know, we'll be in it together. All right, so you could use any kind of fabric. Yarn. This is some cotton yarn that I found. It's actually just, you can buy it in the craft store. So anything that is 100% natural. I saw a question earlier, I don't remember offhand who asked it, but on the boards asking if you could just use yarn from any yarn store, any craft store. And the answer is yes, with exceptions. So for these dyes to work, they need to be on natural fiber. So that means like cotton, or this is some crazy wool. This actually has tinsel in it. So the tinsel will not dye, but the wool hopefully will. I'm really interested to see how this works with all the nubbins, and so the saturation will be different. This is some straight up wool, anything natural. If you use something that has an acrylic in it, it's called over dyeing, and it doesn't always work. Back in my days, way before I was a professional knitter or crocheter, I had a business with my former sister-in-law where it was vintage resale, and we used to over dye vintage slips all of the time. And so the dye it wasn't strong, it had to have a light hue, but often the thread that they used back in the, whenever these were from, probably the 70s, was often polyester. The polyester wouldn't dye at all. It acted as a resist. So this isn't for non-natural fibers, this dye, although experiment. You may get something cool, but just don't go in it knowing that it's going to be a test. All right, so the first thing that I want to do is I want to show you the kit. I like a good kit, as I said before, when I don't know what I'm doing. I know a little bit what I'm doing, but when I want to learn a new skill altogether. And this is by Botanical Colors, and so it's all natural, and it comes with kind of everything that you need. And the woman, there's a master dyer, her name is Kathy Hattori, I believe, who comes up with these kits, and she teaches at the actual Botanical Color Academy. You can go to botanicalcolors.com to sort of see her work. It's pretty amazing. So that's where this kit was built at, but it's sold at Maker's Mercantile, possibly other places, I don't know. Oh, and before I forget, Maker's Mercantile has given a 20% off code for you guys, just for you guys, you viewers. It's Vickie716. I will be posting that in the show notes at the end, but it's to buy this or anything. They've got yarn, they've got fabric, they've got notions. But if you want to get this kit, it will dye like a huge bedspread, like 6 t-shirts, tons of stuff. Christmas in July, you could knock out all your gifts right away. And I'm thinking about doing that, is just kind of just dyeing. I pretty much have been rounding up anything that's not nailed down and is white and natural fiber to see what I can dye. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand the camera over to my son. We're going to flip it, and I'm going to show you what comes in the kit. So let's start there. Hi, Tanner. All right, so you might have to tilt it down. You find it. So can you see? Mm-hmm. Maybe come behind me so they can see. So the kit comes with everything. It comes with instructions for the dyeing and for folding. It comes with gloves. You want to make sure that you wear gloves for this because, or else you'll have blue hands forever. And then it's got clearly labeled packages for the 3 aspects, the 3 ingredients for the dye. I'll be going over that. And then they've given you some twine. This is for the shibori portion of it. Some stones, and then rubber bands. I'm not going to be talking too much about the stones today, but what they're for is for wrapping fabric around. See, I've already gotten powder on I opened this before, and so it's not sealed anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and just put my gloves on. So these little rocks, you know what? Why don't I just show you what they're for? All of this stuff comes in the kit, so you have everything that you need. I'm going to move this out of the way now. We'll get to these in a second. So there's different ways as I said, shibori is a manipulation of fabric. So if you were working with something like this, you would grab, hold on, I'm going to reach over you, Tanner, one second. You grab something with fabric. I don't like this one either. And you would stick just a stone, and you could even find something out in your garden. It doesn't have to be one of these. And then you would take a rubber band or twine and wrap it around, and this would create kind of a round circular bubble shape. In fact, there's even a picture. So Tam, can you see that? If you can see, they show in this where you can do a bunch of different size ones, and you get this really cool, almost like starburst effect, circle starburst effect. So that's just a real quick note on that. I wasn't actually planning on showing you that. If you were using yarn, you could do a ton. I'm playing with the idea of crocheting up a bag and then dyeing it in a grid pattern, but I thought it would be cool just to see what this looks like. So all I did is I started with a hank. You want to make sure that it's not in a ball, and I kind of folded it in like an S. I mean, not pretty. I didn't do anything. It didn't take any work at all. And then I just started wrapping a bunch of rubber bands. So I'm going to experiment with that. And you can follow me on Instagram. I'm going to be posting pictures of some of these experiments. It's just at Vickie Howell. All right, I'm going to show you another technique for manipulating fabric. Okay, and this involves a PVC pipe. I'm going to take off these gloves just because it'll be easier. And I'm going to do a shirt. So this method creates diagonal lines, allegedly. Well, that's what they tell me. So what you want to do is you want to take your fabric of whatever it is. This happens to be a shirt, but it could be a scarf, whatever. And you roll it into the PVC pipe. Then you want some twine, and some twine came with the kit, but I'm just going to grab this 'cause it's right here. And you want to just tie a knot at the bottom. Any knot will do. I probably should have done that lower. Okay, and then you want to start wrapping around. Let's see what's going to be the easiest way to show this. You want to start just wrapping. And after you have several wraps, well, that didn't go well. Unwrap. After you have several wraps, and you want to do this relatively loose, you scrunch the fabric down like this. See how that's scrunched? And then you pull it tight. And you're going to just sort of lather, rinse, repeat. Keep doing that all the way up. And what that's going to do is that's going to create all these really cool folds, and the twine will act as a resist. So that means that your white will poke through when we're done. So you would just keep doing that. Scrunch, tighten, scrunch, tighten. And then you would just continue until the whole piece was worked and it was all really twined down, knotted and twined down. And when you're dyeing it, you'd stick it in your big vat just like that. Another method I wanted to show you produces this grid. I'm going to just show you on the picture. I'm really into anything geometric, so this is something that I want to try. Oh, and Rhonda said that what I just showed you is called pole wrapping. It's the Rashi method. Super handy having you here. Okay, so I'm really interested in this method of geometric folding. So I'm going to take a tote bag, and I'm going to fold it kind of accordion style. I got these little squares to use. They're just balsa wood squares, just because I wanted to use them as a guide. So I'm going to do a little accordion fold. And make a square. And I might do something different with the handle. I'll decide that later. But just for the body of the bag. And you know what? I'm actually going to put something, I'm going to see what this does to keep it into shape so that it doesn't squinch, because I really want it to be, that's the technical term, squinch, just in case you were wondering. I really want those strong grid lines. So I'm going to rubber band that down, both directions. I think maybe what I'm going to do, and I'll do this later off camera, is I might wrap some twine around the handle so they get some stripes. And I'll probably play with this a little bit to make sure that it's tight enough. I really want it to be secure. And then I'll dye it this way, and hopefully the grids will come out the way that I want. All right, so now that kind of just gives you a quick basic intro to some of the folding techniques. Like I said, you can go on to you get the directions with the kit, or you can go on to the Botanical Colors website for more information. All right, Clover, you want to come on in? Yay. So what I'm going to show you, so it's a several step process. Here, I'm going to flip around a little bit, just for a second, so I can talk to you. Okay, so it's a several step process to Shibori Dye, and the one thing that's really cool is that you're going to do it in different dips, so you have control of how dark or how light that you want. You're going to let it soak in your vat for about 5 to 15 minutes, and then you take it out and let it oxidize. And as all the green and yellow goes away and it goes to blue, you'll figure out if it's dark enough. And if it's not, then you just start again. You just do it again. Oh, look, Aunt Meredith's on. Can you say hi? And so what I'm going to show you today, I'm not going to show you the beginning to the end process. Again, you can follow me on Instagram to see a lot of that. But I'm going to show you how to make the basic, it's kind of like a broth. It's the basic stock to get your vat started. So if you think of it almost like a bouillon cube for a soup, or like orange juice concentrate before you make the orange juice, this is going to give you your really solid dye core that you're going to then add to the vat later. So I'm just going to show you how easy it is to do that with this. This is an ancient recipe. It's the 1, 2, 3 method, so it makes it really super You can show. It makes it really super easy, and it'll get you started. And then from there, you can fly. It can be the wind beneath your indigo dyeing wings. All right, I'm going to flip over again. I'm going to hand this off to Tanner again. You got to flip it. Thank you. All right, I'm putting my gloves on. Clover, you don't have gloves.
I can go get some down here.
I think it's okay. You're just going to be doing the mixing.
And putting...
Okay, so we're going to start with just a jar. A mason jar works. We always save our spaghetti sauce jars. You know, anything like that. I had measuring spoons. Are those over here? Yep. Okay, so the 1, 2, 3 recipe means that you always know that you're using 1 part indigo, 1 part calcium hydroxide, and 1 part fructose. I'm sorry, 1 part, 2 parts, 3 parts. So that means you can use teaspoon, tablespoon, cup, it doesn't matter. You just know that it's like if you were mixing a drink at the bar. You just know that you need to do parts of each. So we're going to show you how to make this little, the stock. I'm going to reach past you and grab the water. You want to make sure this is warm. Hopefully it's still warm. I talked for a long time. And you want to put just a little tiny bit of water.
A little bit warm.
It's a little bit warm? Okay. I'm just going to put a little bit of water in there. And we're going to go ahead and start with our 1 part indigo. I'm going to do a tablespoon. We'll give that a try. Okay, so I'm going to hand this, Clover's going to be my mixer. I'm just using like a takeout chopstick to mix. And this will create kind of like a paste. Okay, once we've done that, we're going to add...
Golden bubbles.
Are you getting bubbles? Let's see what it looks like inside.
Golden bubbles.
Are the golden bubbles coming up already? I don't think that happens quite yet.
I saw a little bit.
Oh, it is. You're already seeing the indigo flowers. So if you see... Wait, stop mixing for a second. Can you see those?
Get a little bit lighter.
I don't know if you can see it yet.
It's like, it's easier to see.
Okay, well, we'll show you a little bit closer in a second. But you're going to see some bubbles come up, and those are called indigo flowers, and they're going to look like little chrome bubbles. There you go. You can see a little bit. See that out of the corner? That means that we're doing right already. Woo! Already winning. Okay, so then we're going to add like a cup or 2 of water. I'm just going to probably do a cup. And then from there, it's time for us to add our fructose, our sugar. So for our sugar, we've already done our 1 part, so we know we've got to move on to 2 parts now. So fructose, we're going 1.
This looks like it's working.
You think it's working?
Because it's golden.
And this is the other thing. I mean, we're all at home with our kids this summer. It's really fun to have projects to work on. And the cool thing about this is there's a little science involved, and we're going to see that in a second. Because our next thing that we do is we're going to add our calcium hydroxide. Now this it's really important to add gradually, and we're going to be doing 3 parts of this, so 3 tablespoons. And you do it, there's going to be a little bit of a chemical reaction. Can you get over it a little bit, Tam?
Hard to mix it.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, so she's going to start mixing. Keep mixing.
It's looking a little gray.
That's good.
And there's like steam coming out of it.
Is there? Woo! Science! Okay, we're mixing, keep mixing. You want to mix it so it looks like it's a little vortex inside. Oh, you see that? You see the heat kind of coming off? Keep going.
My hand is getting tired from this.
I believe in you. You're building up your Minecraft muscles for your hands.
Hey.
Okay, so let me just make sure this is getting really mixed.
Okay.
And you're going to see that there's slowly some bubbles starting to form. And that's when you know that it's working. That's called the indigo flowers. Can you see that a little bit? It'll look kind of like metallic. And there you go. You can see it forming. Okay, so from here, you're going to need to let it sit for maybe 15, 30 minutes because it has to do, it needs to be exposed to, or we need to remove the oxygen for it, and it's called reducing. So I actually...
And it will look like this.
Yes, we actually did that last night. Here, actually, I want them to see this. So we made some tonight. So once it starts, or last night, once it starts to separate, you'll see that it can turn a red or a yellow or a green, and that's what you want. And I'm going to show them inside. And you can see, can you see how that indigo flower is floating on the top? That's how we know that we did right. And I actually threw just a quick piece of yarn. Do you see the blue piece of yarn over there, Clover? You can actually do a test piece or a swatch of fabric. This is the yarn that I threw in there, and I just threw that straight into the concentrate to see if it's working, and it totally is. And this is just one, this was just, oh, actually I think this was 2 dips in it. I dipped it in, and then I let it sit and oxidize, and then I put it back in, and it gave this really cool look. So from here, you would just follow the directions within the, I'm going to go ahead and flip around and talk to them again. Thank you, Tanner. You would just go ahead and follow the directions. They're really clear, really easy. And you would make a big vat. You just get one of these big buckets like you get at the hardware store, I think they're 5-gallon buckets. Add it to water like you were making a big stew, and just experiment. Get everything that you can and try different folding methods. Have fun. This is, again, a great way to repurpose items to make something unique. Try it for yarn, try it for clothing, try it, it's not connected. Hopefully we're still connected. Try it for anything. I mean, table runners. You could start making your Christmas gifts now. You can. That was Clover's skirt. I think they get the idea. Anyways, it's super fun. And if you're looking for some visual inspiration, I recently, for my podcast, Craftish, interviewed Anna Joyce. If you go to Anna Joyce Designs, she has some amazing work. And you can also listen to her talk about it at Craftish, which you can find on iTunes or SoundCloud or through YouTube or my website, VickieHowell.com. All right, thank you so much for being a part of this experiment. I think I answered the question, the main question, but if there are any questions that you have regarding dyeing, Rhonda and I will both be looking at them, and we will answer on the boards after. Again, I'll give you that code, Vickie716. I'll type that up, but if you want to go over to makersmercantile.com, check out, they have a lot of awesome stuff. But you can get this kit, and you could kind of just knock out gifts for Christmas or an entire duvet cover or whatever with just that one kit, everything that you need. So super fun, give that a try. If you have any questions, post it. If you know anybody that you think might be interested in checking out Shibori Dyeing or this little tutorial, please forward it. And remember, this is a live video feed, but you can watch it anytime. If you go to my videos playlist on Facebook.com, there are 36 others of these with all kinds of demos reading knitting, crochet, embroidery, crafts, and creative business questions. So thank you for being here. Can you say bye, Clover?
Bye.
Thank you to Makers Mercantile for the support of this stream, and we won't see you next week. We actually will not see you for the next 2 weeks. 4th of July is the next Monday, and then I'm on family vacation, but we will be back to answer your knitting, crochet, and crafty entrepreneur questions in the, I believe that brings us to the 3rd week of July. So have a lovely summer. Please share any pictures of your dyeing. Tag at Vickie Howell and at Makers Mercantile. We'd love to see you working and being crafty and making something beautiful and putting it out into the world. Thanks a lot. Bye.